Hey everybody, Hugh here. Welcome back. Well, this is the allotment update. It's October. I've missed a few of these since the summer because the truth is we weren't around that much, and when we were around I was busy jumping in, doing a few tasks and appreciating the place, in other words dossing about, and then moving on fairly quickly. So let's do a tour. Here's a quick 360 for the folks that only stay on just for a quick glance. How are you guys? Hope you're well. And really is autumn time on the allotment. You can see where gardeners, not only on my spot but on other spots, there's a little bit less time, isn't there? I suppose work is back to taking over. Is the other neighbour as well. Work is back to taking over, and everyone back at school or college and the autumn routines. Anyway, do remember to give a thumbs up and to like and to comment before you go. Thanks as always for watching, and for just a little bit more of an in-depth tour, or should we say diary tour, or whatever we use it for. This is the October allotment tour. You can see the main entrance here is pretty much as it should be. One or two posts gone again, need to be replaced, and that's an ongoing piece. Every couple of months one or two need to be replaced, and that's okay. The entranceway is nice and clear. We did a good bit of work last month, and this is pretty much left to its own devices. A few more stems or shoots to be removed that have died away. You can see the fuchsia is loving it. It's Tom coming to its own, and the rhubarb has died away like most rhubarb. Of course, we have a piece of that back home now, which is fantastic. There is a thistle to be removed. It's not going to flower, I wouldn't think, at this late, so we'll just remove that out of there. The apple tree that was somewhat trained, not quite a step over apple tree, but similar enough, has a few apples still left, so we'll remove those. And on this side, again, a mixture of shrubbery, just a bit of clearing and cleaning out, topping up with bark. It'll all happen over winter. The raspberry never recovered, whatever actually did happen to it. This rhododendron producing some flower buds for next spring again, and of course the blackcurrant bush there, well died back. Leaves still smell of blackcurrant. There are various stepping stones, in inverted commas. They are slates off roofs, or should I say tiles, because the ground is very wet around the shed. Hasn't been like this for the past couple of years, but with all that rain and storm Babette, you can see it's just water everywhere. So stepping stones. Our non-functioning clock and thermometer is now broken. So that's been good, and the wheelbarrow is still punctured. Need to fit that new non-puncturing wheel to it. Well, not new for me, but yeah, hasn't happened yet. This area here, the wild bed is still pretty wild. We did do some chopping back just to tidy it up a bit, and those tay berries that we were picking during the summer need now to be cut back and trimmed in a bit, so that needs to happen. Just a bit of a clearing, prune out the old stems, tie back in the newer ones, which are this year's growth. It'll be for next year's flowers. It'll all come together pretty quickly, and that's what we're doing. We're doing bite-sized chunks as time allows. You can see the shadow of the sun, because that is okay. Here's fuchsia Mrs. Popple in flower there in the main bed. And so once the wheelbarrow is working, or borrow the allotment wheelbarrow, one of the communal wheelbarrows, just get rid of some of the mess of chopping. As I say, a couple of hours every week or every second week makes a big difference. The shade tunnel is got some attention where we were digging out the potatoes. You would have seen that in the courtyard tour, the potatoes that we got from my brother, the seed potatoes, and then we dug them up there a couple of weeks ago. Nice harvest. I'm sure Judith has the measurements, or the quantity, and then the sort of the wild pond is still wild. Wildest is the frog there, our little froggy friend. Sometimes he sticks his head up, but anyway, it does need to be definitely some attention and cleaning and clearing, but happy enough again with it. The storage shed where the rat was cleared out, and doors left open and so on, but it needs to be fully cleared out and washed down. And then a bed that we never really did much with. Just, you can see there's some Mypex covering it, but again, just need to clear these beds out. There's mixtures of plants and that in them, and they just need to be clean and cleared. Here's the bench that Joe gave us about 3 years ago. The sedum actually lifted it out as it was growing. So to decide if we're going to keep it or not. If we are going to keep it, we need to restain it. I'm inclined to, well, actually I have questions for you and get some opinion on it. The Achillea that was along here, we've cleaned and cleared out because it was overgrown. And there is the Miscanthus by the doorway. Again, a lovely regal plant. Those bamboo canes, probably like Miscanthus canes, are going to trim down and tie to the trellising there. And there is our Japanese bridge, which was looking so Japanesey and red all those years ago. Those bars need to be taken out, undercoated and redone with red. So plenty to do. That's the glass from the glass house when it was here. So again, it needs just to be binned. Most of them are cracked, so just need to, again, just comfrey in the bin. Comfrey in a bin. And the blackberries. Didn't pick that many blackberries off it this year, to be honest, because we still have some in the freezer. So I hope the birds have a great time. Some more trimmings. Again, you can see there's a common theme about clearing and cleaning. And that's all the Rudbeckia, the black-eyed Susan flowers. Yellow with the black centre. They've all finished now. What a fine sight in all its wilderness. It's great to have one or two architectural plants like that silver astelia anchoring the bed, and then you just got the madness of the other stuff around it. But we're just having some discussions, and I think it is time to rethink, because some nice flowers there, but because we're not out here as much during the summer, I think we need to change it from the aesthetic type of flowers bed back to some sort of production bed. Dig out plenty of that stuff. Maybe leave the silver spear there, trim that back a bit and move it more to production. You could grow some nice onions in there, you know, set them down in the spring, leave them to just do their own thing. Bit of weeding. I'm not sure. You know, so change it more from a production bed back into flowers, because between the courtyard, the tunnel and the greenhouse and glasshouse at home, we've more than enough going on there. What we actually lack is open soil space, you know, like we did with the potatoes in the shade tunnel. We actually are missing now some growing beds for actual growing. I have a friend, Katie, she's the promise of some sheep's poo for me, some sheep manure, so I'll give her a shout and see if she can. But my current thinking anyway is very much turning some of the aesthetic areas back into, and even the non-aesthetic areas, into production beds. Having some conversations about what crops can we grow. Like I'm looking at Steve Digwell's garden and Terry's garden, and even looking at the guys over at Clive's Conundrum garden and Susie's garden and Ali's garden, and looking at what all you guys are actually doing in the open spaces, and it's like they're all having a positive effect, and many more. Jeepers, there's Nick's garden, and who was I watching? What's the name of the Welsh lad? Duncan, of course. I could know Duncan. But so many of you are, you know, are growing in the open soil, and it's getting me thinking around for next year. You know that I like the wilderness, the wildness of it all. But if we could have a few crops growing, I think that might work pretty well for us. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Leave some opinions. They're always welcome, once they're gardening related. And yeah, after all the storm Babette carnage around the country, we got away with it quite lightly. I say a bit of rain here and at home, not too much damage at all. I know other people have had disasters, both in this country and across the way in Scotland and the UK. So thinking of you all there. Meantime, do look after yourselves, stay safe, and see you on the next one. Bye for now.